Very special episode coming to y'all right now. Gonna preview the Super Bowl, man. Big time matchup between the Cincinnati Bengals, who are making their third trip in team history to the Super Bowl, taking on the Rams, who have home field advantage in the Super Bowl. So looking at this game, Rams were 7-3 at home on the regular season playoffs, 5-3 at home during the regular season. Bengals 7-3 on the road. And another interesting matchup because Zach Taylor was Sean McVay's quarterback coach with the Rams for a few years. So kind of looking at this game,
Good,
just
good. Was it good tidbit, Nick? Didn't know that.
yeah, no, man. I always got to find the good facts for y'all. Just looking at this game, the biggest game of the year, Super Bowl 56. What are y'all just initial thoughts? What's going to be the X factors, key matchups, keys to victory? Let's just talk about it all, man. Starting out with just what are the keys to victory for each team?
I'll hop on, man. Like keys to victory, for the Bengals. I mean, it's pretty simple. Well, it's not simple because it's the damn Super Bowl. They probably going against the best defense, but kind of like a cut and paste type of thing. You got to be able to get the ball. You got to be able to get the ball to your playmakers, man. Jamar Chase. Not suddenly, but looks like the best receiver in the NFL right now. Like,
What?
I've been saying the same thing, man. When you have three legitimate number one receivers, talking about Jamar Chase, talking about Tyler Boyd, talking about T. Higgins, that's a lot of stress on any secondary. So, like I said, keys to the game, man. Like the Bengals are gonna have to get the ball in their playmakers' hands before Vaughn, Leonard Floyd, and AD can get there.
Hmm.
I really think in terms of keys to the games, it's two keys and they both belong to the Los Angeles Rams. And it really depends on if they use those keys or not. The first key is can the defensive line and the linebackers, can they get to Joe Burrow, bro? And the second one is Matt Stafford. How many mess-ups would he have throughout this game, bro? Because no matter how good their defense is, the Bengals have a solid defense as well, bro. Especially they have a top 5 secondary. I'll give them that. Got Jesse Bates, probably top 3 safety. Awuzie, a top 10 corner. He played like it. Eli Apple played like a top 5 corner in the playoffs. So, as much as I hate Eli Apple, he been hooping. He's the reason why they beat the Chiefs last week, right before halftime. What did he do?
Yeah. Good tackle on Tyreek.
In a one-on-one, Tyreek Hill, open space, and he won that battle right before halftime. So I think the keys do belong to the Rams, bro. Can they get to Joe Burrow? Does he make it out of that game in one piece, bro? That's really going to be the biggest thing.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, bro. The Bengals are facing an uphill battle when it comes to protecting Joe Burrow. You look at this Rams team; they had the third highest sack total on the regular season with 50 sacks. Von Miller has 7 sacks over his last 7 games. Aaron Donald has 7 sacks over his last 8 games. And you just look at those numbers from the Rams, talking about how easily they get to the quarterback. Because you also can't forget Leonard Floyd, a guy who's really came on since he's joined the Rams. And if they can pressure Burrow, it's going to be a long day for Cincinnati. If you look at it, Joe Burrow has a 40 quarterback rating versus pressure this postseason. Every pick he's thrown this postseason was versus pressure. And if the Rams can pressure him, like Van said, I think it could get ugly. You don't have to worry about. I just say continue on the conversation, bro. You want to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers if you're the Bengals. However, this Rams team isn't shoddy anywhere on the field. You got a top 3 corner in Jalen Ramsey. And on the other side, you got Fuller, who's been coming on, and I really like him. And then you got a dynamic safety duo in the back. So I think this Rams team, a team that plays a lot of zone coverage as well. So it's not a whole lot of one-on-one matchups to exploit. But I think this Rams team can really get into that zone coverage, create pressure, and make Joe Burrow hold the ball longer. Because when you play zone, you can't just go with the best matchup, especially with the disguises and things like that. You got to sit there, read, go through your keys, and find the open guy. And I think that's where Joe Burrow might struggle in this game. He's seen a lot of man-to-man coverage so far throughout the playoffs. You look at the Chiefs game, Jamar Chase, of course, in the first matchup, dominated one-on-one. Second game, Fenton gave up a touchdown. But like I said, with his zone coverage, I'm not sure if Joe Burrow is going to be able to compete with this Rams defense.
What Matt Stafford you think we're going to get?
I think that's a good point. Compare the quarterbacks. What you think, Josh?
I mean, y'all know my take. I don't think that Matt Stafford is that big an upgrade from Jared Goff. He's been playing really good in the playoffs so far. He had a turnover issue, going into the postseason, and stuff like that doesn't go away. Somebody that that with the arm talent that Matt Stafford has, he's gonna take those chances. He's gonna be a little reckless with the ball, especially like I said with the receiver that he has. We talk about Cincinnati, but LA has a top 5 receiving core too. Talking about Cooper Kupp, statistically the best receiver in the game this year by far. Obviously Odell Beckham. Any other system he'll probably be a number one. So he's gonna, in McVay's offense, that single back offense, is designed to take shots downfield. So I think quarterback wise advantage, obviously, Cincinnati. But man, Matt Stafford doesn't have to be, he doesn't have to be good. I mean, he doesn't have to be like perfect. He can be good. He can probably win this game if he's average.
How many interceptions is he gonna throw?
I'm gonna jump in right here. I'm gonna say he throws 0, bro.
Nah, he'll throw one.
He hasn't thrown a pick. He threw a pick versus 49ers. Was perfect against Arizona and Tampa Bay in terms of not turning the ball over. So I'm not really so concerned with Matthew Stafford turning the ball over, especially when you have a guy like Kupp, OBJ, and Tyler Higbee, who may or may not play this game. But still, he has a lot of options in this passing game. You look at this Bengals defense, they give up they were 26th in completion percentage. I think it's going to be easy pickings for Matt Stafford to get the ball out of his hands quick, especially when you have an O-line that allowed the 5th lowest pressure rate. And you just let Matthew Stafford sit back in the pocket, read the defense, take the shots when they're there. And you know what I'm saying? Take the easy throws when they're there too, because that's one thing Matthew Stafford doesn't get enough credit for. It's making the easy throws.
I mean, here's the thing. Like we talk about, the LA front seven, but Cincinnati's front seven is no slouch. You got Trey Hendrickson. He probably got close to like a franchise record. He had double-digit sacks. I think it was closer to 14, 15, and 10. DJ Reader, obviously a monster inside. I think he playing. I don't know. I mean, because McVay single back, they emphasize stretch and zone and stuff like that. But from B to B, I think DJ Reader can definitely shut down the inside running game for LA.
Shut down.
I mean, they're not gonna get 0 yards, but it'll be less effective than would it be if he wasn't there. But man, there's the thing. Matt Stafford, I don't know who is what you call play the book. I mean, you go against Shaquille Barrett and JPP, but I mean, still
without Andrew Whitworth that game, by the way,
it's still a thing to where Cincinnati's gonna get some pressure. That's how they've been winning, really. They talk about LA playing a lot of man. Cincinnati kind of relies on, creating pressure with 4, which is actually kind of the, perfect formula in today's NFL. If you can get pressure with 4, drop 7 in coverage, even if your secondary isn't the best, you can still make plays. So I wouldn't, like I said, I think LA's front seven definitely gets the advantage, but I wouldn't sleep on, what Cincinnati been doing. And momentum is real.
So I agree with your point about momentum being very important. But who has the most momentum, I would say right now, is a guy by the name of Odell Beckham Jr., averaging 75 receiving yards in these playoffs. And this Rams offense as a whole. You look at this Bengals defense, yes, they rush forward, do all of that. But you look at this team, the biggest X factor for the Rams is going to be Cam Akers in terms of this offense. This Bengals defense gave up 5.8 yards per carry versus the Chiefs last week. If Cam Akers can get off, and then you take the pressure off Matthew Stafford's shoulders like we saw in their game versus Arizona where he only had to throw 17 passes, you don't have to worry about what Matthew Stafford you're going to get. And you really are not going to have to worry about it if the Bengals have to hone in on Cam Akers. That just allows guys like Odell and Cooper Kupp to continue on the momentum they've built throughout the year and throughout this postseason. It just allows them to have easier one-on-one, less guys in coverage matchups. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's a lose-lose situation for this Bengals defense. Yes, they've created 2 takeaways in each playoff game, but I'd be surprised if they walk out of this playoff game with 1.
Man, here's what I'll say though about that. In the age of everybody, wanting to get smaller and faster, nickel, like money backers and edge rush stuff like that. Cincinnati has 2 legitimate, run stopping thumpers at linebacker. Talk about Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt. And I think that's kind of not antithesis, but that's kind of can counteract. You feel what I'm saying? Cam Akers, some of the other stuff that McVay tries to do with the single back. Because let's be honest. You're talking about Kansas City. Nobody is concerned about the Kansas City running game. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a great running back. The other dude they had back there is
Jerick
McKinnon.
too.
Jerick McKinnon. He got off. He's not a Pro Bowl or nothing, but he's a good, good guy you can give 10 carries a game to. But as I'm saying, just what I witnessed, I've seen Cincinnati line up in like dime and nickel. I don't think they got into like a base 3-4 the whole game. Because like I said, nobody's scared about, Kansas City's running game. And however you want to take it, Kansas City has the most explosive passing offense in the league. So if they can come down, get in some, base per se formations, 3-4-4-3. But now really in the NFL, base is nickel. But it'll depend on how McVay wants to come out. If he wants to come out and establish the run, I think, like I said, Pratt and Logan Wilson will be those two linebackers inside. Those guys can run sideline to sideline. They can, for them saying they can limit, Cam Akers in the run game. And depending on what Cincinnati does, LA may be in a position to where they get down and have to start throwing the ball. And like I said, Cincinnati has proven, nobody's gonna. And they didn't stop Kansas City by no stretch of the imagination, but they can make big plays when need to be. Like I said, like I didn't say it yet. Overtime when Kansas City won the ball. When Kansas City won the toss, everybody went crazy. Everybody celebrated because they just assumed, that Patty was gonna go down and score. Well, that was second, third play, Jesse Bates over the top interception. So, like Van said, this is not I don't agree with his assessment of how good their secondary is. This is Eli Apple, but I do think this is a team.
In the playoffs, Eli Apple hasn't been top 5 corner.
No, I have no data to back that up, but Eli Apple is top 5.
I mean, he's made the game-winning plays in 2 of their last 3 playoff games, and that's facts.
Okay, man. See, this is why I be getting mad, bro. Like, how you trying to tell me, like, you're gonna sit here and tell me Eli Apple is a top 5 corner in the NFL right now?
You said in the playoffs.
NFL right now. The NFL is right now the Super Bowl. No, that's not true. The Rams probably got 5 corners better than Eli Apple right now. Like, bro, stop talking.
You heard what I said. I said in the playoffs, he's played like a top 5 corner.
Okay.
Against the Titans, what he do? Game-winning tip to get the game-winning interception. Against the Chiefs, what he do? Stop Tyreek Hill in open space from getting 2 yards. Touchdown. That would have put the game away at halftime. The game would have been over, and that's facts. That's all I'm saying. You putting words in my mouth. No, he's not a top 5 corner. No, he's not a top 10 corner.
He said top 5 in the postseason. You said that, right?
Who's played better in the postseason as a corner than him?
He made, you named 2 plays that he made. Those, like I said,
Cincinnati the game-winning plays.
All right, man.
I think he brings up a good point, bro.
No, he don't. He don't bring up no damn good point.
I do bring up a good point.
That's not a good point, bro. Jesse Bates is far away the best player in that secondary.
Cooper Kupp. He probably will.
You know why Cincinnati can't run, man? Because they have no corners that can run. They don't have no corner that can run any number 1. They don't have a number 1 corner, bro.
How many catches did he have? How many catches did Tyreek have?
And that was Eli Apple. That was Eli Apple's responsibility.
He cried on Twitter more times than he had catches last Sunday. That's facts. That's facts.
I respect you. Like I said, coach, but you just be like some shit. You just be trying to. I don't know if you're trying to be.
That's facts. I'm not in my bro. I like Eli Apple. Y'all heard me last week on the pod.
The reason why, LA runs a lot of zone, but they could come down and run me. Personally, I would like to see, really Ramsey shadow Jamar and them run zone behind that. I just think that would be really interesting concept. But the reason Cincinnati runs a lot of zone because they don't have a number 1 corner. Awuzie, solid guy, more of a slot.
He top 5 PFF. Look it up,
bro.
That is a fact.
Okay, and what do you think about PFF in terms of that grading system right now?
I think it's legit, bro.
Nigga, shut up. Anyway,
he graded better than Jalen Ramsey. Him and Eli
bro, you can't be.
Matter of fact.
All right, man. I'm not going.
Matter of fact, these facts. You going off your heart, bro. You got heart. I like that.
I'm going off my eye.
Man said I like that.
All 4 of them. No, these have never told me Eli Apple should be a starting cornerback in the league. These have told me that Eli Apple has years upon years of why he's been a journeyman because guess what?
These last 2 weeks, what did you see though?
All right, bro. When Odell put 18 for 275 on him,
that might happen.
But you think it's not gonna happen because you think Eli Apple is a Pro Bowler right now, and he's not. He made 2 good plays.
Best in the world, bro. What he do? 0 catches.
And so Eli Apple shadowed Tyreek Hill the whole game and shut him down.
Yes, he shut him down.
Oh my God, bro. That is not. No, it's not. Eli Apple did not shadow Tyreek.
It's
This
fact.
ain't even play man like that. So no way that Eli Apple is a guy that you think, at how smart you are, no way you think Eli Apple is a guy that's going to be a game changer in this game versus any of the receivers.
Cooper Kupp going to find the hoes.
Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, Tyler Higbee, Nick Hayes. Anybody can get open against Eli Apple. Shout out my guy Nick. But Eli Apple is not he made two. I'm a damn computer acting up. He made two really good plays in a playoff moment. That does not overshadow him being a bust, a top 10 corner that cannot cover anybody. So he made good plays, but Eli Apple is not. I'm so tired. I'm mad that we talked about Eli Apple on the damn podcast this long because he made more headlines on Twitter than the damn games.
People want to hate on him more, bro.
I don't hate him, but you talking about he a top 5 corner right now, Vince? You sound like you on the pipe, bro.
He played like a top 5 corner in these playoffs.
No, he made two good plays.
Great plays.
I'm gonna jump in right here, bro. I'm gonna end this Eli Apple discussion.
My damn blood pressure running up and shit, bro.
I will say Eli Apple has played above Eli Apple in this postseason.
Which does not mean shit because Eli Apple before that sucked.
I'm talking.
My bad, you're right.
Yes, he was a bust when he was in New Orleans. Got cut, went to the Giants, got cut, all of that. But he's resurrected himself in Cincinnati. Two, three off seasons ago, they brought in Trey Waynes, Mackenzie Alexander. But guess who stayed? Eli Apple. Or guess who they invested in and kept and started? Eli Apple. So obviously Eli Apple has proved himself got rid of the bust label to prove he's a legitimate starting corner in the NFL. He started 17 weeks, and you know what I'm saying? He's in the Super Bowl now. So I'm not going to say he's a bad player. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's a good player who's made plays this postseason, and he deserves some credit for that. But now we got to talk about the biggest story, the biggest headline in this game, and that's Joe Burrow, a guy who won the Heisman 2 years ago, won a college national championship 2 years ago. Yes, Josh.
I think you mispronounced that. I think his name is Joe Shiesty now, but keep going, bro.
Oh, I mean, okay, Joe Shiesty, Joe Burrow, however you want to slice it. I just want to see, we've talked about their defense. We've talked about Matt Stafford. What kind of an impact do y'all think Joe Burrow can realistically have on this game?
Man, I've been saying this for a long time, even since LSU, talking about arm talent, talking about the ability to make plays with his legs, and having them big cojones. I see a lot of Aaron Rodgers in Joe Burrow, but I mean, at this point, Joe Burrow is on a trajectory to have way more, postseason success than Aaron Rodgers. About 1.5 years into his career, essentially, already making it to a Super Bowl. His receivers are great, but everything else around him. I mean, actually, he got a pretty good supporting cast outside of a bad right side of offensive line. But man, you talk about LA running a lot of zone. Yeah, for a younger quarterback, that typically would be a problem. But I don't think Joe Burrow is, your typical young quarterback. He's, whatever defenses have thrown at him, he's succeeded and flipped and, made it to where, he's gonna be. You had to almost treat him like. You see teams treating like Ja Morant now in NBA, like he's gonna get off. He's gonna get his 250, gonna get his 300. We just gotta limit, the other aspects of the game. Make it tough for Jamar to get the ball. Make it tough T. Higgins get the ball. Get them in plus territory, get them behind the chain, so it's tougher to convert these third downs. But I mean, I'll go back to my earlier point. I really would like to see Jalen Ramsey, kind of shadow Jamar Chase. He kind of said it early in the week that was kind of his. That's what he wanted. If he played man against Jamar and they ran zone behind it, I think that would be their best formula. But here's the thing, Nick, zones. All zones have natural holes in them, whether it be the post, in intermediate route, things like that. You can scheme open. You can scheme guys open in zone, and I think that. Obviously they're going to be reliant upon, like I said, Leonard, AD, and Vaughn getting there and making life difficult for him. But if they're just going to sit back and play cover 3, cover 4 all game, that ain't the thing for them because Joe Burrow will tear that apart.
So about Joe Burrow, bro, he's probably the coolest quarterback. Just not in terms of like swag, but in terms of just like calmness on the field, bro. Like I've never seen him yell at his teammates, bro. He's always just calm, bro. He has his demeanor. It's just like, all right, bro, I trust him to get the job done. With that being said, bro, in these playoffs. The last time I saw him like torching all defenses, bro, like over the top, was probably when they played the Chiefs in the regular season. Like, well, these last 3 games, bro, it's been a lot of ball control, trusting your defense, make the play. And I think it's going to be a lot of the same in this upcoming game. Like, I don't think they've had a touchdown over 40 yards. Well, last week against the Chiefs, he threw a screen pass to the running back Bernard. That was the only time I seen him score a touchdown over 40 yards. I've only seen him have another big play, and that was when Chase caught a pass and ran in for like 40 plus yards, but he got tackled. But the big plays are coming off short check down passes, and he's trusting his teammates. With that being said, do I think he can make it happen in the Super Bowl against this Rams defense? I highly doubt it, but I think he can still get the job done with ball control and turn into a game where every possession matters.
Vance, to your point, last week versus Kansas City, that quick passing game was instrumental. Burrow went 14 for 19, 2 touchdowns on the quick passing game. They only gave up 1 sack that game. So Burrow was getting the ball out of his hands fast, getting it to his playmakers, and it was a formula that really worked for them. And to your point, he was also getting the ball to those running backs a lot. Samaje Perine, Joe Mixon, they combined for 6 receptions, 70 yards, and a touchdown in that game. But also, I think an underrated part of Joe Burrow's game is his ability to scramble and convert first downs. Versus the Chiefs, he had 5 rushes, 25 yards, and 4 of those 5 rushes were conversions on third down. So if Joe Burrow can get out the pocket, pick up those third and mediums, that's a big part of this Bengals offense in terms of keeping the chains moving, staying on the field, and you know what I'm saying, leading those long drives that get you to the red zone. However, when you get to the red zone, that's where the Rams defense is best. They're the 8th best red zone defense. Everywhere else, you know, they're more of a bend on break defense. But if Joe Burrow can get you to that point, get you to the red zone, that's easy points, whether that be 3 or 7. As long as you can get to that red zone, that's almost guaranteed points with a kicker like Evan McPherson.
Let me ask you this. I guess I was gonna say, I'm gonna ask both of y'all this. You know, Kansas City, obviously their secondary is not as good as LA's, but this won't be the first time Joe Burrow's went up against a fearsome front 4, front 7. Obviously, we know about the 9 sacks against Tennessee. And even with Kansas City, you got Chris Jones, you got Melvin Ingram, you got Frank Clark. Like, this is a guy that's kind of been under duress most of these playoffs, which makes it even more impressive. How well he's been balling. Man, I just feel like, in terms of secondary, this will probably be the best secondary he's played so far. But man, I don't think that, like I said earlier, I don't think that them just rushing forward, playing cover 2, cover 2, cover 3, cover 2, cover 3, cover 4 all game is going to be effective because, Joe Burrow has, shown time and time again that, he doesn't care how many times he get hits. He's going to get back up, make the throw that he needs to make. Like you said, Nick, make that third down conversion with his legs. He's going to keep it pushing. So we talk about how talented this LA defense is, and I think, I'm not going to disagree with it. But it sounds crazy when you got, I think, the 2 best defensive players in the league. But they're going to need to they're going to need to come up with like something special or some scheme change in order to really really lock down and secure the dub, because I'm saying, like, nobody said that this Cincinnati team to be here, but they're here for a reason. I keep reiterating the point. You have, in my opinion, 3 number 1 receivers, got a Pro Bowl running back, and you got half an offensive line. So I think that it's gonna be tough on LA defense. Like you said, Nick, they're more of a bend over break. They're not really the shutdown kind. And Cincinnati has shown time and time again that they're able to convert, not only like those third downs, like you said, but in the red zone. And like you said, also Evan McPherson is a weapon anytime you're inside the 40, essentially. So, somebody on LA defense not named Jalen Ramsey, Leonard Floyd, Aaron Donald, or Von Miller is gonna have to step up and make really big plays and play above their head.
Yeah, and I think that guy to step up was going to have to be Darius Williams, the corner opposite Jalen Ramsey. I think he's the guy who's kind of underrated in coverage, a very good guy. But I think he's going to have to step up and he's going to have to, hold his side down. Because not only do you have Ja'Marr Chase, who didn't get off versus the Chiefs. I didn't forget our bet. You owe me $50, wear my shirt, whatever you want to do, by the way, because no Bengals receiver went over 150. I can bring the clip back just in case you need a refresher. But T. Higgins was the Bengals' best receiver that game, going for 103 yards with 6 receptions. So the Rams are going to need to limit the production of that Bengals offense, because the less the Bengals offense is on the field, the more time Matthew Stafford gets the ball, the more time Cam Akers gets the ball. And the easier the game becomes, whether you're an explosive offense or not, the more time you have the ball, the more likely you are to win. So now I think it's about that time, guys. Let's make our game picks.
Man, I like Cincinnati. Obviously, Arizona was my regular season team, and quarterback is the most important position, singularly important position in all of American sports. And from our perspective, big advantage, Cincinnati. Even not only with receiver, not only at quarterback, I think is a big advantage, but in the receiving core as well. I think that Cooper Kupp, Triple Crown winner, but I think Jamar Chase is better than Cooper Kupp. And Odell Beckham, he's a great number one. He's a great number two. Will be a number one. He has been a number one, but I think that the combination of Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins is better than one Odell Beckham. So you combine that, man. I gotta go. Shit, let me get 31-28 Cincinnati, man.
Ooh. Vance, talk to me.
Okay. Common sense says the Rams have a competent O-line. The Bengals don't, bro. Take the Rams. But today I was scrolling on Twitter. I happened to come across this meme, this picture, bro. And it was a picture of the Simpsons. And they predicted that the Bengals would win the Super Bowl 34-31 years ago, bro. And you you never go against the Simpsons.
Thanks.
But I'm gonna go with the Rams, bro. Joe Burrow's getting back, bro. Come on, man. Now if this start, I am gonna bet $10, 34-31 Bengals, bro. Like it's the Simpsons, bro. But the smart money, I'm rocking with the Rams, bro.
Yeah, I like how you dove into the metaverse there, Vance. Find the holes in the simulation. But I'm gonna be honest, bro. This Rams defense is a defense that's one of the tops in the league, regardless of what the statistics say. You just look at the name brand guys, the things that they're able to do on that defense. They've created a turnover in 10 straight games, bro. They're the they're a top 5 sack team in the league. 11th highest blitz percentage. I think it's gonna be a long day for Joe Burrow. I think Matthew Stafford's gonna have a really good game. Just looking at the 2 receivers he has, especially if they're able to establish a running game, I think it'll be easy pickings for Matthew Stafford. And I'm sorry, bro. I think this game might be a blowout. I'm gonna go 35-21 Rams.
Wow, bro. The thing is, while I'm still rocking with the Rams, bro, do not sleep on the Bengals defense, bro. They're in the Super Bowl because they're the most complete team in the NFL. If they had an offensive line, bro, they'll be the most OP team in the NFL. But they definitely are the most complete team. They have a solid top 10 player in every position except for corners and O-line.
I think you got a good point, Vance. Talking about that defense, talking about how complete of a team they are. But I think the Rams are even more complete, bro, because they have the O-line. They got the defense.
Bro.
Yeah.
I think it's a summation. I think we're all kind of saying the same thing. I'm not going to disagree with y'all. I think LA is the better team, but I think LA is the better team. But just talking about individual star power, like, man, Jamar to Joe, man, like, no, the league has not been able to stop it. Talking about Kansas City, I think
that's crazy.
What's crazy?
The league hasn't been able to stop Matthew Stafford to Cooper Kupp, if we're being honest.
That's true too. That's also true. But I just, like I said, I think that in a sport where one position matters more than any other position, the quarterback may be not, but quarterback determines your success more in football than it does in any other sport. I think Joe Burrow is a better quarterback than Matt Stafford, man, and I don't think it's by insignificant gap. So that's why I'm.
So those field goals into touchdowns.
Which field goal? What you mean?
Every time they get in across the 50, bro, they're always kicking field goals instead of scoring touchdowns.
Man, Zach Taylor got a bag though. You seen it against I think the Raiders. Finding creative ways to getting the ball into Mars' hands in the backfield. I don't got no intel. I'm not in Ohio, but in the Super Bowl you have certain plays that you don't pull out all season until you need them. I wouldn't be surprised to see, like I said, Jamar, Allah, Debo Samuels, play a little wide back. Maybe some desire runs with Joe Burrow, a third and short, something like that. I don't know why I'm such a big Zach Taylor fan. Oh, I know why, because he's kind of demonstrated that he's able to, manufacture touches for his best players. Get them the ball.
I was about to say, just remember where Zach Taylor learned it from.
Who?
Sean McVay.
Yeah, bro, I'm rocking.
Oh, that's facts. That's facts. This ain't no Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher situation. I don't think McVay is the big dog on the block quite yet. Super sick because I think Aaron Donald deserves this. I think for somebody that
I think Odell deserves this.
True, that's also very true.
I also think LA's front office deserves this because they don't have a first round pick for these past 10 years.
Oh yeah, they dropped the bag just like the Lakers, bro.
Yeah.
And now, bro,
unlike the Lakers, they're actually good. So.
I mean, the Lakers won the championship. They got their ring out of LeBron, bro.
Yeah. And now it's time for LA to get their ring out of Cooper Kupp, the new biggest star in LA, man.
Cap. A white guy would never be the biggest star in LA. A white athlete would never be the biggest star in LA.
Jerry West.
Elgin Baylor. Man, I just think that it's splitting hairs, man. It is the Super Bowl, so you're gonna split hairs. But I mean, I looked on some of the gambling sites. Cincinnati's like a touchdown underdog or something crazy, 4 or 5 points. Like that's like bulletin board material. You feel what I'm saying? So talk about going back to the momentum thing. Like you look at that, and you literally can just put that on the wall. Bengals plus 6.5. That's motivating people. And I'll take that bet actually. So man, you don't get here. I think a lot of people. I mean, Cincinnati's playing with house money, like you said, Nick. LA needs to win this to kind of validate all the decisions the front office made. And I think when you're playing loose and confident, man, it makes a huge difference versus kind of being uptight and kind of expecting to win this. So there's a lot of different factors. I think LA is a better team, but I think Cincinnati got more stuff going for them.
Yeah, and so I think we've had a good talk, man. Got some good, good predictions about this game. The game Sunday, of course, we're going to come back, talk about the game after the game. And so with that, make sure y'all tune in to Super Bowl Sunday. Check in with us after the Super Bowl for the recap. And we out of here.
Man, go eat that baby mama or that baby shower food at the Super Bowl party. Meatball, rotel.